Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla, and I want to thank you for stopping by for a visit today. So for my finished objects and works in progress video today, I don't have that many finished projects. I've been just not feeling well, having doctor's visits and just things like that going on. There were several days where I didn't crochet very much at all that day. At night I tried to get in some crocheting. But I did finish a couple of things. The Homespun Poncho that I was working on with that homespun yarn, I did finish it, and I took it to Michael's and gave it to the manager, and she loved it. She tried it on and went in the bathroom and looked at it, and she came back out and she just, was like, I love this, this looks so good. And then she made a comment that it was dressy enough that she could wear it to dress up, or casual enough that she could also wear it casually. So, and that's the way I felt about that, the way it worked up too. And then we talked about the fringe, and she understood that that yarn just would not fringe, and how bad that would look if I tried to fringe that yarn. So I will pop in a picture of her on with it on. I asked her, I said, do you mind if I snap a picture of you with it on? I said, I have a YouTube channel, and I was showing that I was working on this, so I would like to show the finished, because actually when I took it in, as I was working on it, I was trying it on Elijah because he is the closest to her size. He might be a little bit taller than her, but he would be the closest to her size. And so I was trying it on him each time I would do a row. And then I got to a point where I thought, okay, I better let her try it on. So that's why I was taking it. I went ahead and finished it up and tied it off. And then I went up there to see if she wanted me to go longer, or if she wanted me to put some of that purple at the bottom. And she did not want the purple at the bottom. She thought it would take away from the beauty of the way the yarn was flowing, which I'm so glad she said that, because I think it would have just kind of ruined it. And then it was the perfect length for her right then, and so I hadn't taken a picture of it. So I said, do you mind if I take a picture? I said, I have a YouTube channel, I've been talking about it. And she said, oh yeah, that's fine. And she said, let me go do one thing. She had to run up front to do something, and then she came back and popped it on, and I just snapped a shot right there in the store. So that turned out really nice. She loved it, and I was glad that she liked it. All right, and the other thing that I finished is I was watching Pamela's Adoring Crochet, and she had on this purple capelet that was just beautiful on her. And I think she might have used Karen Simply Soft yarn, but it turned out really pretty. The color was just beautiful. And she had made a hat and a capelet, and I thought, I want to make one of those. And so anyway, she left a link to the person who she got the pattern from, and it was Conrina Anna Crochet. And I will leave links below, so check out the description box for links that I talk about things. And so I just got some yarn that I had. Actually, this is that Karen Yarn Inspirations Karen, it's not a 1 pounder, Karen Jumbo that I had got at Ollie's. And so I started working on the capelet. And so this is it. And I love the way that turned out. And again, I was having Elijah to try this on, because as I started working on it, I mean, I didn't have anyone in mind when I was making this. I just started working on it. And then this lady at the hospital, I don't know if she's a nurse or if she's a CNA or what, but she's been there for many, many, many years. I can think back to one time I was so sick. I went to the doctor, and I was so sick with my kidneys. And I was sitting there. I had a little garbage can with me, and I was just throwing up and throwing up. And this sweet lady, she come by, and she got paper towels, and she, as I was throwing up, she was wiping my nose and all that. I know that's a lot of information, but I mean, she's very caring, and She's always been super kind to me. I don't know her name. She don't know my name either. But as I was working on this project, she came to mind, and I just thought about her the whole time I was working on this. So I decided that I'm going to take this Wednesday with me. I have doctor's appointments all day Wednesday, so I was going to take this with me and let her, and give it to her. I want to get a gift bag before then and fix it in a baggie and take it to her and just show her, thank you for always being so kind. But anyway, it turned out really nice. And like I was getting around to saying, she's a very small woman. She's small built and small height. And so Elijah's the closest thing I've got to that size. So I kept having him to try this on until I got it down to the his elbows. And I went just a little bit below the elbows, but it's kind of roomy. So she, should be able to wear this, like, to church or anything like that, and still be able to move her arms around. But you can see the edging around the bottom. And just to tell you a little bit of information about this, let's see if I can find anything I might have done. I thought I wrote stuff down. I'm trying to get better at writing things down so that I know information. Okay, so this is the capelet. I used a J-hook on this. I think, I'm not even sure what the J-hook is now. I can't think. I used like a 5.5 on this top part. And then when I got to this chaining part here, I used a J-hook. I love the way it turned out. And I want to make myself one in white. Because I do have this black shirt that I wear. And I wear black pants all the time. So I wear a black shirt and black pants. And to just give that a little color, I thought I'd make me one in white. And so, but the thing is, I don't like this right here. This is made as, and then you make this drawstring. You can't really see it too well with these colors, but then you make this drawstring and cinch it up a little and tie a bow. I'm not a bow wearing type person. So I'm going to make me one using this pattern, but up here I'm going to redo the neckline and do that different because I don't like all that. So I think it'll work up real pretty in white. But anyway, I even just thought about making a pink flower and putting right here over that. But the thing is, I don't really know her sizing, and so she might need to cinch this up smaller. I mean, you can, cinch it all the way up like a bag, but she might need to cinch it up smaller. And I think I will make a bow. I mean, not a bow, a flower to go over this and just tell her that she can cinch it up to her size, tie it off, and then we'll put that that flower on there. I think that's what I want to do. I don't know. I don't know if she would like that bow or not, but I don't. But anyway, this is really, really cute. I can see this just dressing up a simple outfit. Like I said, I wear black pants, and I have this black shirt. It's a longer sleeve, not long sleeve, but about 3/4 length, I guess. And it's a really long black shirt. And so I wear that sometimes when I need to dress up. Kind of. I don't really ever dress up. But if I made this a white capelet like this to wear over that, I think that would make it look dressy, even though it's not really dressy. It would just kind of add to it. So I'm going to make me a white one for sure. And then I might make some other colors if I like it. Who knows? But anyway, I made this for the lady at the hospital. And then she was on my mind the whole time I was making this. So I decided that's who it's for. And then I decided I was going to make her a hat to go with it. So searched for an easy crochet hat because I wanted to make it one really fast and just a simple hat. And Little John Yarns video came up for a granny square hat. I've never made a granny square hat. This is my first one. So Little John's yarn, her video was very simple. It explained everything. It was easy to follow. I'm definitely going to check out her channel for more patterns and stuff. But if you can make a granny square, it starts off like a granny square, except in the corners you don't do one. I mean, you only do one chain instead of two chains like I'm used to doing in granny squares, corners. But and then it just, after you make the square, so at some point, I think about after the 5th row, you don't increase anymore. You just start going around and around and around, and it makes up this hat. And it is kind of it's to make a slouchy hat. And I did leave off the last 2 rows because I felt like it was getting huge. And this lady that I'm making it for is kind of a small size lady. So I was a little concerned about that. I didn't want to make it just huge on her. And then for the brim, I did it like Little John's pattern, but the brim was like very much huge also. And I could wear it on my head because I have all this hair, and I could just do it where it was like slouchy and hanging off the back, and it would work for me. But I haven't seen her in a while, but picturing her in my mind, she has a small head. And so out of all the people in my home, Jody has the smallest. So I had him to try it on. It was like huge on him. And he doesn't have all that hair, you know, to fill in the gaps. So I ripped it out tonight while he was in there fixing dinner. I ripped it out and I went all the way back down to the single crochet at the very first of the brim, and I did a bunch of them decreases and single crochet 2 together, and then I would just single crochet a few and then decrease, and I just did it randomly, no particular thing. And so then I had Jody to try it out again, and it decreased it significantly. And then whenever I started the double crochets, double crocheted several, and then I did the double crochet 2 together, and then I double crochet a few, and then double crochet 2 together, and I just did that all the way around also. And then I took it back in there for Jody to try on, and it was significantly better. It fit him a lot tighter and better then. And then on the last row of double crochets, I just went all the way around. I didn't decrease any of that. So I think that'll be fine. And I feel like I should explain to her that it's a slouchy hat. I don't know. She's really going to be like, good grief, that's big. But if I make the flower, if I make a pink flower to go on that capelet, I think I'll make one and put on this also. So we'll see if I get that done before Wednesday to take to her. And like I said, I need to get a gift bag, and I think I have some tissue paper already to get that fixed up for her. All right, and that's the only things I have finished was that poncho, capelet, and that hat. I dabbled on other projects without really accomplishing anything. So for my works in progress that I'm working on, we'll go ahead and talk about this. I wanted to make a square neck poncho shirt type thing. So I worked really hard on figuring out this rectangle, and it's too big. I don't know if you can see, it's way too big. And I know that once I add all the yarn, it's going to stretch it even bigger. But here's the thing. I spent a lot of time on this. I don't want to frog it. I really just don't want to frog that. Because I spent a lot of time and math figuring this out so that I could get the same amount of shells in between these corners as the front and the back to make sure it was the exact same. And the same amount of shells in between the corners on each side. So it is the perfect rectangle. And that took a lot of math to do that. And a lot of thinking. Like, it wore me out. And so once I tried it on here just a minute ago, I realized it's way too big, and I'd rather cry than rip it out. So I don't know. I know that once I add more to it, it's just going to get bigger and bigger because the weight of the yarn is going to stretch it. So, and then Dakota said, well, could you, after you make it, can you fill in this and come up? Well, I thought maybe I could. That's the, you know, the foundation. Maybe I could, I don't know. But then I don't know how I would do around the corners and fill in and come up some. I don't know about doing that. So I'm probably going to rip it out. If you know of a way I can make that smaller in the middle here, front and back, just the whole thing, the neckline and smaller, let me know in the comments. If not, probably later in the week, I will just rip it out. But also, if you know of a pattern where they have already figured this out for like a size 3X or 4X, probably a 3X, because I know it's going to stretch and the weight of the yarn is going to be heavy and make it bigger. If you know where they've already figured this out, link that to me so I can quit thinking and doing math, because that did take a lot of thought process to have the same amount of shells everywhere. But anyway, I wanted to make this, and my idea was I'm just going to continue in granny squares all the way around, until it's the size and length that I want. And I'm making this out of this Barcelona. Let me see the colorway of it. The color is Sky. Oh, it's got some pink in there and different colors like that. I had got this at Michael's clearance for $2.97. It was in the bins outside. I don't think I ever showed that. I think I got 5 or 6 of these balls, and I wanted to make myself something out of it. So this is my attempt, but it's too big. So unless one of you can tell me how to fill this space in, I'll be ripping it out by the end of the week and probably restarting it over the weekend or something. Also, if you know of somewhere where they've already figured this out and I don't have to do all that brain power, let me know that also. Okay, so I've worked on this just a little bit. Like, well, it doesn't look like I've crocheted a lot on it, but mentally I worked a lot on it. And the other project I have going on is, remember the pumpkin face throw? Okay, so someone asked me, and you remember the cat pillow that I did? Someone asked me to make them a cat blanket. And so I was just thinking, I have so many projects I want to do that I didn't want to do like 1,000 little squares to make a cat blanket. So I showed her the pumpkin blanket throw and asked her would it be okay to do it in that style. And the big 5 squares that have the pumpkin faces, instead of pumpkin faces, they would be big, large black cats. She wants all black cats. And she loved that. She liked that idea and everything. And so I asked her what color she wanted in. She said anything except no green or orange, but do whatever you want to do other than that. So no green or orange. And I came up with a plan and kind of drew it out and used my colored pencils and colored in my little pattern there that I'm going to use, and found yarns. So I've worked on, I have 3 of the squares made. So I think this is 11 rounds, and I'm going to do the 12th round in white. So I have a purple, and this is Super Saver Orchid. And then I have a turquoise, and this is Super Saver Turquoise. And then I have I think this is a mainstay red. And so that's 3 of the squares. And the other 2 are going to be a yellow. I wanted to do 1 yellow and 1, I guess, a darker blue. Not navy, more like a royal or something, a brighter blue, you know. And I'm going to trim each one of these in white. And then for the other 4 squares, for the granny squares, I'm doing white in the very center, and then yellow, and then red, and just the different colors all the way around. I'm going to do one round of the white. Yeah, 1 round of the white, and then 2 rounds of all the colors until I get to the 11th row, which that'll be 2 rounds of each color that I'm using. And then the last round for round 12 will be white. So it'll kind of be a rainbow looking, cloudy, I don't know. Okay, my problem is I can't find a yellow that's not a screaming school bus yellow or a yellow that doesn't look orangey. Well, at Michael's, I could find it's a screaming neon yellow, or there's a pale, pale, pale yellow that I don't think would look good with these colors, because I think these colors are bright, cheerful. But I feel like that bright, bright yellow is too bright, and the pale yellow is too pale. So I've got to find a yellow that is not bright or pale to fit in with this. So I'm still holding off on working on that too much. I mean, I'm gonna try to get everything done, except I can't do the other 4 squares until I find the correct yellow. Long story, I'm working on a cat blanket for somebody. Oh, and then I have 2 more projects. I was watching, let me see if I can get this project over here. Oh, I guess I could take this off now. Well, tangle myself up. Okay, my hair is like static electricity. I was watching Summer at Summer's Tips and Stitches. Hey, Summer. And she showed this lazy diamond boho pocket shawl that she made. And this thing was huge, snuggly, comfortable. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make that. Forget everything else I'm working on. I'm starting that. And so I was like, it uses a lot of yarn. And I can't remember exactly the yarn, how many yards she said. Did I write that down? She said it uses like 2,500 yards. So I went searching, I was like, oh, what have I got that's got, I've got multiple skeins of that I can make that. And I remembered that I had these Karen latte cakes that I bought a good while back. Probably at the beginning of this year, maybe January, February, March, somewhere up in there. Michael's had these clearance to $2.97. And so I bought 4 to 5 of the colors that I bought. I bought 4 or 5 of each. And this one I happen to have 5. And so this colorway is called Earthen. This is called Earthen. I love the feel of these. I haven't made anything with these yet. This is my first project with this. And so as I was looking at Summer's, I went back and was looking at her video, and I was just like, oh yeah, that yarn would be perfect for that, because it would be super snuggly and just cozy and comfortable. So I got to work on it. And so I'll leave the link below in the description box. So basically you got to make 3 big old granny squares that are like 26 inches wide. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just working on this a little bit as I go, in between working on other things. And I'll make 3 of these 26 inches wide. Okay, so the pattern, I'm not following the pattern, of course. Do I ever? No. One, the reason why I'm not following the pattern is because in her pattern, she is using let me look and see who that pattern is by. The Lazy Diamond Boho Pocket Shawl. Now, I saw it on Summer's Tips and Stitches. The pattern's actually by Jolie Knots Crochet. Okay, so in her pattern, she used a normal worsted weight yarn, I guess. It wasn't fuzzy or anything like that. And so she was crocheting in back loops, front loops, or whatever, skipping stitches and things like that. So you could see the design that her yarn was making. This yarn is not going to make up and show that design. So to try to spend the time to do that design would be a waste on this yarn. You wouldn't be able to see it. So I'm just doing regular granny squares. And that is fine for me. I'll love it. I know I will. And it'll be all warm and cozy and comfortable. So I'm working on that. That's one of the projects that I do want to get done before fall. I can't wait to get that done and snuggle up in it. Like, my favorite day is that first day of fall where you wake up and it's crisp, cool air and you just need like a robe or something on. I love that day. I look forward to that day every year. Elijah made me some caramel coffee. Not my mama. No, not my pro mama. Man. So that's really good. Okay, and then I was watching Yarn Geek. Have y'all checked out her channel? She is just so cute, and her videos just make me so happy to watch her. I just laugh at her the whole time. And she has been doing some Zoom meetings with, I guess, co-workers, teachers, or something like that. I really don't know what she does for a living, for her job is. But she was filming in her yarn room, and so people started asking her, was she filming in a yarn store? So that cracked me up. I thought that was funny. Anyway, so she had made a granny square tote bag. And a few episodes back, I did make a granny square purse. And so it's kind of the same thing like that, except she used, she put granny squares on the side and the bottom of her bag. So I had these granny squares laying around on my desk because I was making a table runner with these granny squares, right? I was going to make a granny square table runner to put into the fair. Well, we're not having a fair this year, and to tell you the truth, I don't know that, I don't know that I really put that table runner on my table for real. I'm going to make one to enter in the fair when we're going to have another fair. It may not look just like this, but it'll be some type of table runner. Or either if I make one, like I was planning on making this, I didn't know if I was going to make it to go on the table or if I was going to make it to go on this buffet here behind me. So I'll make one later on. But anyway, these squares were sitting there. I watched her videos where she showed her granny square bag, and I was like, yep, I'm making one. And so I started putting them together. So I made the front panel and the back panel. And then I made the one side panel, two side panels, and then I made the bottom panel. And so I could have easily whipped all these together and made that up real quick, but I thought, no, I want to make a video out of that. So later this week, there will be a video of showing putting that bag together. And so that's my plan. And that's all the projects that I am currently working on. I mean, I have more projects. I do have another large project that I worked on some in the past few months, but then I kind of put it all in a big box and set it to the side and started working on some other things. But I need to get back to that project, so I think I'm just going to do a total video on that project only because it's a pretty large project. But anyway, I think that's all I've got going for today. Looking at my notes right here to see. We'll have a few more videos out this week, and then this weekend, Big Daddy and I plan to record another video. So if you missed last weekend's video, you can find that in my video list, and I'll link it below too. But I have a video where I was trying to teach Big Daddy how to loom knit a hat, and then I had a list of questions prepared where I asked him questions. And so this next week, he is going to have some questions prepared for me to answer. And I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Like, I guess he thinks it's like some kind of stump the person game. I don't know, because he's been researching yarning questions for me. And he said, you better know your fibers. I don't know my fibers. I don't know anything. So I probably won't know the answers to his questions, but I'm anxious to see what he feels like asking. Oh, and I got a card in the mail from Robin Kilpatrick. And it's just a cute little card saying thank you. And thank you, Robin. Thank you for the card. And thank you for doing the yarn bingo card. I appreciate that very, very much. And I need to talk to you soon, so hopefully I'll have some time to get in touch with you and chit-chat. But thanks, and I want to say thank you all for watching, and I will be back very soon. Bye, guys.